Well, uh, this engine, it's it's like complete. There's this is one of them engines where there ain't nothing else for me to do to it. You know what I mean? It's whatever grade mechanic I am. Whatever grade mechanic I would be classified as. So, well, if you're using that grade scale, like my according to my pay scale, so meaning that the engine is complete, but it's to this point. It's everything on it is good as I can do. You know what I mean? If I was to start right now, which I'm going to, engine to come on this work stand as this one comes off. So well, materials. We're going to. I have a list here. We're going to. I documented the build on the last two engines, and a McCormick-Deering or International Type M in general. Just saying, this being with the Bosch-Magneto. But I done already worked on it a little bit, actually a lot, from what I got, from what I started with. So, one of the questions, like the second question you'd be asked, is how much does it cost to restore one of those engines to this condition, to be judged on its own merits, So let's look at them digits, and we'll see how much it actually costs to build that. And I'm saying that with some reservation as to the next one. I'm sure will be considerably more expensive. Well, even a tube of Harley-Davidson grease costs $15. I'm just saying. So with that, up to this point, taking in consideration that I've not started that engine. It's all complete. It's not had gas in it as yet. Has a nice blue spark at the spark plug. So I anticipate it to start quite easily. With that in mind, the cost up to now, I'll run some more numbers by you, the ones that has been keeping tally as to the cost. But just, bring to your attention somehow that, well, the oil cost $110. Just saying, gosh, But anyways, to carry on with this tally, And you know, go ahead and leave a comment down there about what you think the labor, how many hours do I have in this project? You know, what's the cost out the door? And I think it will be that on the next one or more to fix everything. You know, it's like an engine right there. You don't need nothing. Everything on it is like a choice between a dozen of that part, you know, just saying. So, to mark some items off the list is the engine itself. We're not talking about that. It was a $350 engine. So add that to your cost. I'm going to mark it off here so we won't tally it again. And also the fuel pump. You know, we got these other numbers there that I done run off to you in that earlier video. But we've got the fuel pump. Now, well, this is all, I'm just going to charge $20 on fixing that fuel pump right there. Cut a new seat in the bottom and put 2 new check valves in it and new packing, and it tested good. But you know, I just charged $20 on that. So go ahead and add that on there, and I'll mark it out on my list here. But I think I'm finished with it. Actually, let's see if I've got that on there. And see if you think I was right in making that decision. I'm pretty sure I do have, and I think it was them. Oh yeah, there they are. Gib key protectors, and I do have one on each side of that there. You know what I mean? It needed it not to run a pulley. But my figures, and this, see if your numbers, if I got my math right. But I added all that up. No, I didn't. I was about to make a mistake on. What was it? Adding all of that up, you know, there comes a time on a project, time for paperwork, and this is it. So, and the record keeping being how much the question that started the whole cost keeping is how much does it cost to rebuild completely? You know, this thing got a brand new gas tank in there. It ain't never had gas in it. That fuel pump ain't never pumped no fuel on the engine, you know. Spark's made a spark plug, magneto. It's got grease in it, no. Governor is set at the most relaxed position on that spring right there, just enough to hold it on to the bracket, so it should run really slow. It's got the shims in there to center all of this up for a smooth operation. You know, yeah, it's got everything that I possibly could put on, that I possibly could do to it. There's nothing else. It's that situation. There's just nothing else to do to it. So, and the cost being, now, that being is, you know, get all these parts up one at a time, and then, well, I done some pretty decent record keeping on this one, and, you know, adding all that up, and we done talked about this on the videos here, how much, what the price is of items. And there's some parts on here that, I mean, there's some parts on the engine that I just selected to put a better one on there, whatever it would be, on my own accord and not charge it to the engine because I thought the engine deserved it. So there's some really good parts on this engine. The parts cost, that's including the engine now, parts and the original engine, is the cost on that was $1,674.50. Oh no, I didn't. We just marked that fuel pump off a little bit ago, so I have to add that on to here. Come to $1,694.50. That's parts, no markup. Most parts that's purchased for this engine, almost all of them, some of them has increased in prices from the time I put them on this engine till now. I'm just saying. But we got that $1,694.50 there on that. Okay, I done already worked on this engine right here, keeping a close tally on it. And this is time actually spent onto the engine. And it come out to where that I had 72 hours in this project up to now. And it's finished. So 72 hours, and I'm figuring, about $20 an hour, surely, I would think would be the value of that labor. So if you add all that up, that comes to $1,440. So if you add that to the parts, $1,694.50 and $1,440 and no cents, and tally all that together, and it's $3,134.50 is the total cost that it costs if you buy an engine on the showgrounds that's complete and bring it home and then fix it of all the parts that it actually needs. I'm here in Middle Tennessee. Now let's get another one on the bench. And we done welded up a cart for this one today. I'll show it to you. Once you weld this thing together, that's what it looks like right there. That's the front and rear. I think they call them bolster axle assemblies, all metal, 11 gauge, square tubing, stub axles, pivoting front plate, welded on handle brackets, 3/8 round handle material, and bare metal, and we get some primer on there. This being a good example of the two front upright pieces are 1/4 of an inch shorter than the two rear ones. For the reason is this plate here, it compensates for that 1/4 inch. That way your top plate comes out level. 1/2 inch bolt for pivoting. I'm here in Middle Tennessee. Just saying.